particular incident where you became confident enough to be able to, stand up for yourself, or you think it was something that was always there?
I think when I kept standing up for myself when I was younger, I was sort of ostracized or looked at from a lens saying, "Oh, she talks through her hat," or "She talks too much." And even as I was younger, I was called very overconfident. I think my teachers always called me out to be overconfident, and that's because I was scrawny. I had big glasses. I was a tomboy, and in my head, I was like, "But I don't think I'm overconfident." Because I'm just sharing what I'm thinking. And, I would find it a little bit of I felt like, pushed down, even in school. But then
Hmm.
when I started working, and then I recognized that that was my strength and that was my
Ah,
superpower. And just because I looked a certain way in their head, it was overconfidence. Whereas in all reality, it was just me being confident and not scared to speak up. Being
yeah.
fearless or having fear but still sort of wanting to sort of stir the hornet's nest, so to speak, is one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself, because otherwise you'll never know. You'll
Ah,
never have an outlet. So then I came into leadership positions as 21, I remember, and my boss back then, I remember asking him, if everybody thinks I'm too young and if everybody feels that I'm not ready, why are you asking me to do this? And he said, it's not about how old you are, it's about the fact that you're here to do a job and you're doing it really well. It doesn't matter how old or young you are just holding a position. And it's the position that matters and it's not your age. And he said, if the others have a problem, that's their problem, it's not yours. So
hmm, hmm.
I did have very strong sort of, mentors slash people I worked with who really stood up for me, not to everybody else, but with just my own self process. They didn't
Hmm.
interfere with the process of going into the external world and correcting them, but every step of the way, I was equipped with more confidence to do what I did without it having to be, conflict or all of that. It was just reassuring me that it's okay, you're fine, do what you're doing. And I think that is the role of leaders, to not really go,
Ah,
it's really about equipping you with the resources that you need to be the best version of yourself or what they see you're capable of being. And I think that's it's just so simple. And that's why it's so hard to implement, because there is no major structure to create. It's simple as everyday life's philosophies that can really equip you with the courage, the strength, the confidence that you need. And I think that's what I got. And I got it very early on. And I'm even today, when I look back at the trajectory, and it's been a very interesting trajectory across many spaces and industries, but I've always been so lucky to find those kind of people. And I think it was
yeah.
always because I was open to receiving without judgment.
Yeah, that's interesting because what you say quite resonates with me because a lot of people I meet keep saying that on one hand, as a woman, you need to be confident. And yeah, we all know that we need to be confident and we all need to speak up and all. But then we are always looking out sometimes for other people to validate, other people to support, and then only that step. So it's like the chicken and egg, right? Who's going to take the first step towards moving? And then if you move, maybe you'll find followers, or if you find somebody to, hold your hand, you'll walk further. So that's always a mix. And which is where the element, like you're saying, it's as simple. If you're a leader, looking out for people around you and saying, okay, how can I really enable somebody else? And if you are looking for that mentorship, like you said, possibly just asking